For the last decade, I've been noticing a trend when it comes to black women in entertainment or just in general. And that is something that is disturbing to me. Many black women are becoming unrecognizable. But what do I really mean when I say that? Well, let's take for an example, Dr. Umar Johnson. Dr. Umar Johnson is a pro-black, as you know, and he was going to go to Atlanta and do a 20 versus 1. But there's an issue.
They want me to do the 20 verse 1 in Atlanta with the sisters. What do y'all think about that, y'all? They want me to do the 20 verse 1 with the sisters in Atlanta. What do y'all think about that? They want me to do the 20 versus 1 show where they bring 20 queens out. They bring 20 queens out and I pick the queens I like, and then it's a round 2 and a round 3. But my problem with the 20 versus 1 is this. My problem with the 20 versus 1 is this. My problem with the 20 versus 1, how do I know everybody is a biological woman? That's my problem with the Atlanta 20 versus 1. Atlanta is Transformer Central. Atlanta is Transformer Central. Atlanta is how do I know all 20 of those queens are organic women? How do I know that? How do I know that? How do I know that?
Well, as you heard, Atlanta has too many Transformers. Well, what does that mean? That means Atlanta has men who are biologically men transitioning into women. Now, back in the day, this was not hard to figure out. You know, in the 80s and 90s or even 2000s, if there was a man that was saying he was a lady, but he was born a man, well, women were still very much recognizable. So you can hear it by the way the man talked or by how he dressed. It was like, okay, this person may be gay or be a transgender, but this person was not born a woman, and that person over there is definitely a woman. So we can still understand what is what. That isn't the case anymore. And the reason is because some black women look and act maybe exactly the same as transgenders. It is easier for a transgender person or a transgender woman to cosplay just as a woman that was born that way or a woman that's cis. That's why we're saying that black women are becoming unrecognizable. Dr. Umar Johnson can't tell which is which, and he would prefer to deal with a biological woman, not somebody that was a man that transitioned into a woman. But this also goes into certain other aspects that we want to discuss. Let's look at Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj was upset the other day when she went live, and this is exactly why.
Who you calling Hulk Hogan? Mother, you know what? Blocking your blocking your Hulk Hogan. Oh, hunty. Hulk Hogan. Hulk blocking. I'm talking about Hulk Hogan.
As you can see, Nicki Minaj was very much compared to the wrestler Hulk Hogan. Somebody looked at her blonde hair, they looked at her do-rag, and they said, "You look like Hulk Hogan." Now, obviously, Nicki Minaj doesn't look like Hulk Hogan, but we can understand the similarities. The masculinity that Nicki Minaj may portray is also saying that, hey, well, you kind of act a lot more manly than you should, and because you're not trying to really live into your femininity, well, you kind of look like Hulk Hogan because what you're doing is unnatural. Black women typically don't have blonde weaves, and she got so many surgeries and BBLs and all of that. It's very easy for someone, let's say who is not a woman or born a woman, to mimic how she looks and how she acts and how she talks. And if you don't believe me, listen to this.
Okay, I need y'all help because, like, I'm trying to leave my like y'all. I gotta do whatever, but you know, it's just like I'm just ready to leave him. Like I'm just ready to wash my hands because it's just too much. And like all is really the same. All women as and say all real big manipulators. And that's why I got this picture on my wall right here. See, that is the man. The man, he blowing that dark black smoke cloud. He blowing over that to the girl. You see, she got her arms folded. She's trying to protect herself because the man is a manipulator and a big womanizer. And they had you just stuck in cloud nine and would just really have you looping a lot of land. But I'm telling you, a man is really a man. So I'm trying to get the on because I just feel like it's best for both of us that I get the on before I really have to turn into a toxic and really have to show him why I really be boohoo snot nose. And I don't want to have to do that because he's such a good person. Like, he a real cool shit. You know what I'm saying? So I don't do him like that, but he won't let me leave. So what to do? What am I supposed to do?
That is a clip of Saucy Santana, who sounds not too far from someone like Nicki Minaj. Now, I'm not saying it's the same, but you get what I'm saying. Even Saucy Santana can mimic and understand what that is. And typically when you get people that try to sound like a woman in the black community, they typically want to emulate somebody that sounds urban or somebody that sounds quote unquote ratchet. But you never really hear somebody like Saucy Santana mimic a feminine black woman or Claire Huxtable from The Cosby Show. It's always somebody like a Young Miami or Nicki Minaj, somebody that's very easy to mimic because of the exaggeration of the stereotype of what a hood black woman is. Then there's Serena Williams, who also is, in a way, unrecognizable. Look at Serena Williams in this photo. Yes, that's Serena Williams that was, with the beads in the 90s and 2000s in her natural skin. Then this is Serena Williams now, who has so many surgeries and light skin, and we don't even know who she is. And of course, that's the case when Serena Williams went to Paris. When Serena Williams went to Paris, she went to the Peninsula Hotel. She was refused a seat at the table. Now, this is a Michelin-starred rooftop restaurant. They said the restaurant was empty, and it was for people who didn't have reservations. She was very upset about it, went on to her Twitter being upset about all of that. But the reality was the worker said, we didn't recognize her. We didn't know who she was based on, how she portrays herself and the different changes of her face. We don't know. And the makeup trying to look more Caucasian than African American doesn't really help the case. And that's why this particular blog, Showbiz The Cheat Sheet, took a shot at her. The person who wrote it was a young writer by the name of Ashley Swallow, and she said something amazing. Serena Williams looks great again. Makeup is flawless. Now, what does that supposed to mean? Well, doesn't she always look great? Or did she take a time where she didn't look great and now she's back looking great? Well, let's look at the first paragraph. Dang music! Now that Serena Williams' second daughter, Adara River Ohanian, turned 1, the retired athlete has more time to socialize in Hollywood and beyond. Let's skip down to the other important part. Fans can't help but recognize that Williams is looking happier than ever, especially at a recent special event. But then let's look at when she scrolls down. She says this: Williams kept her makeup natural and glowy with a pink lip and fluffy lashes. She let her hair down in loose curls as she smiled broadly at the after party. Fans are loving Williams' retirement era. Well, that means that before she wasn't keeping her makeup natural. She was trying to be somebody else, which is why it is so easy for people to emulate black women when they are not looking in their natural state and acting in their natural state for some people. And this is why it's so easy for people to cosplay them or make fun of them, because when the stereotype is going out there like a Sexy Red or a Nicki Minaj, well, then sisters are being unrecognizable, and it's even hard for even brothers who love black women like Dr. Umar Johnson to question what they are dealing with. And this is becoming a problem in Black America, and it's becoming such a problem that black men are trying to find women that are recognizable. If they can't find it in Black America, this is why you see so many black men deciding to do things like, let me go to become a passport bro, or let me deal with sisters on the continent of Africa or on the Caribbean or in the Caribbean, where I can recognize them as a naturally acting, behaving, looking woman, because I just can't find it. because they believe that, hey, some of these sisters are trying to be somebody else, which I can't deal with, or I don't really know what I'm dealing with, and you know what I'm talking about. Booty clapping sounds! This is a problem, and it doesn't incentivize black men to want to get in and take care of some of these sisters out here in which we really don't know what's going on with them. This is not necessarily a shot at women. It's just being honest. A lot of women are unrecognizable to black men. And it's not that they're not women or they can't be attractive. It's just that a lot of black men are up in arms as to what they're getting into or what it is or what this is and where is the femininity in some of the people, or you've gotten so many surgeries or BBLs or things done to you. We would like to know what you look like with all of that being the case. And of course, it's kind of offensive to say that to somebody like, hey, can you remove your wig or can you remove your weave or what do you look like behind all of that? So some brothers just go ahead and just not even deal with it. But this is the case. And even now you have these white writers telling people like, yo, Serena, we are so glad that you actually want to look black. This is important. Please continue to look black. You look better trying your normal earth tones instead of being unrecognizable, trying to be somebody else. Thank you, Serena. That's what they're saying. It's pretty much a shot. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.